Hello everyone, welcome back to Magnifico Recaps. Today we will narrate a drama film called Gifted. Spoilers ahead, so proceed with care. Let's begin. The movie opens with Frank preparing things and making sure Mary is ready for her first day at school. She's in a restive and defiant temper as she doesn't want to go. She has locked herself in the bedroom. Frank tells her that he's cooked for her a special breakfast, and that immediately works. Mary then opens the door. Mary asserts to Frank that she wants to continue homeschooling with him, but Frank replies to her that he has taught her everything he knows. Mary still tries to get her out of her uncle's plan, but nothing works. She even uses their one-eyed cat Fred as an excuse, but Frank is determined to send her. He says that what she now needs is experience and friends. He finally gets her ready and sends her away. After the school bus is left, Frank is confronted by his landlady and close friend Roberta. She reminds Frank to bring Mary back before it's too late. She's scared that the authorities will take Mary away once they realize her potential. Frank reassures her that nothing bad will happen to Mary. At school, Bonnie, Mary's teacher, is giving the students first-grade math problems, and Mary gets bored. She tells Bonnie about it. She informs Bonnie that the lack of challenge makes the class unbearable. Bonnie warns Mary that only the student whose name is called will only be allowed to speak. To shut Mary up, Bonnie gives a difficult problem which she readily solves. Curious about the ability Mary's exhibiting, Bonnie this time gives a multiplication problem. To her surprise, even though Mary takes her time, she solves it. During the recess, Bonnie tells her fellow teacher about Mary. The principal walks in and is asked to sit in Bonnie's class to observe. Bonnie and the principal get in. The principal introduces herself. Mary asks if she's the boss. When the principal answers yes, she appeals to the principal to call Frank and ask him to come and pick her up. Soon, Frank arrives and takes Mary from school. Bonnie catches up with him and tells him that she thinks Mary might be a genius. Frank brushes that suggestion away. He brings out to Bonnie and he has taught Mary beforehand how to solve simple algorithms. Acting has no further interest in continuing the discussion on the issue any further, he walks away. And satisfied with the answers she received from Frank and still curious about Mary, Bonnie digs up information about Mary. She finds that Mary is the daughter of a math genius named Diane. Diane worked on one of the Millennium Prize problems, and a few years ago, she took her own life. Diane was survived by her brother Frank. Bonnie meets Frank at the bar where he usually hangs out on Friday nights. It's one of her colleagues who vents out to Bonnie that she has seen him at the bar. She confronts Frank. Frank then tells her a story. Frank says that one day, his sister Diane appeared at his door with Mary as he was readying himself for a date. Distressed, Diane insisted that she wanted to talk to him. Frank, who was already late for the date, informed her that they would talk when he returned. He left for the date. When he got back, he found Mary in the living room with Diane dead in the bathroom. Ever since then, he has been raising her. It's the day to submit an art project. The students are asked to create a zoo. One of Mary's classmates, Justin, has a beautiful project. As he's carrying it carefully through the school bus, one of the boys, who is 5 years senior, bullies Justin and laughs at him. Mary cautions that he should not be grinning after doing a mean thing to a child. When the boy asks, "What you gonna do about it?" Mary right away hits him and breaks his nose. Frank is called to the school. In the principal's office, the teacher informs him that she can recommend Mary to a special school nearby where the gifted students go. The principal is her friend and all she needs is to make a phone call. Frank refuses the offer, saying that he can't afford a $30,000 fee. The principal tells him that she can arrange a good scholarship for Mary. Frank once again declines the offer, asserting that his family has a history with that kind of school. It is not a good one, to say the least, for Mary. He asserts to the principal that he wants Mary to have a normal childhood, and for that reason, he's going to keep Mary in their school unless they expel her. The principal tries to argue that the school cannot challenge her intellectually, and keeping her there would limit her potential. Frank doesn't bug down. After they leave, the principal digs through Mary's records and contacts Mary's grandmother and Frank's mother, Evelyn. When Frank and Mary arrive home one day, Mary finds a strange woman at the door. She asks Frank who the woman is, to which Frank replies that the woman is her grandmother. Evelyn brings several gifts to her granddaughter. She's rich and bossy. She's from England and has ideologies and ambitions that Frank doesn't like. Evelyn criticizes Frank for his lifestyle choice. She tells him that she wants to take Mary away with her to Boston. She tells him she can afford to send her to a special school, and she believes Mary is as talented as her mother. Frank refuses to let Mary go. Evelyn threatens him with a court case and leaves. The hearing session at the court provides more information about the family. it also reveals the friction between the mother and the son. Evelyn thinks her daughter Diane was too weak and committed suicide because she could complete the Millennium Prize problem. She's also disappointed in Frank for leaving his position as the assistant professor at Boston University. She's also mad at her late husband as she believes he has hindered her otherwise successful career. Her current husband has also left her and bought a ranch up the States, now living as a cowboy. Frank, while he doesn't accuse Evelyn of anything, vocalizes to the court that letting Mary live with Evelyn will ruin the chance of any normalcy in Mary's life. Though he's only a freelance boat repairman, he has taken care of Mary till now and can ever provide the best atmosphere for her. Evelyn tries to cross him by bringing Mary's real father into the court and letting him sign a custody agreement that Evelyn can keep his daughter full-time. Frank's attorney disagrees. He asks Mary's father why he hasn't met Mary once in his lifetime and proves that Mary's father cannot be considered as a guardian because he has never cared for her and cannot have the best interest in his heart. When Frank tells Mary about seeing her father in court, Mary becomes sad. She doesn't understand why her father never wanted to see her. To console her, Frank takes her to the hospital. They sit in front of a labor ward where they see a family celebrating the birth of a child. Frank tells Mary that everyone was that happy on the day Mary was born. She asks him to wait for one more birth and then joins the celebration with the second family. In the courtroom, it's also revealed how much Evelyn had controlled her daughter's life. Diane tried to run away when she was 17, and Evelyn had the boy, with whom she ran away, arrested for kidnapping. She tried to commit suicide when she was living with Evelyn. Evelyn denies any responsibility to any of these. As for Frank, his job and lack of health insurance hindered his chance to getting Mary's custody. Finally, both parties reach an agreement that Mary will go to the foster home close to Frank's house and will attend a school for gifted children. Frank takes Mary to the foster family. She refuses to stay and candidly expresses her desire to leave. He consoles her that the arrangement is only for a few years and she can come and live with him a few years later. He tells her that he's leaving Fred with them so that he can keep her company. Mary pleads that she just wants to leave with him and pathetically begs him not to leave her with the foster family. But he forces her to stay and drives away as Mary looks on through the door. At night, Frank is repairing boats. Bonnie now meets him there and he opens up about his guilt of having gone on the date instead of staying with his sister on the night she committed suicide. He also uncovers his insecurities about the capability of raising Mary. Bonnie tries her best to console him. One day as Bonnie is shopping, she finds a poster of Fred being put for adoption. She informs Frank about it and he becomes furious. Frank goes to the shelter and rescues Fred and two other cats before they put them down. From the front desk, he understands that Fred was brought in because of an allergic issue. He knows that Evelyn is allergic. He immediately moves to the foster family. He meets Mary there with two tutors and Evelyn. Upon seeing him, Mary runs away. He follows, stops, and apologizes to her. Before he does, he throws a file at Evelyn's desk. Mary forgives him when he hears he had rescued Fred. They go inside. Frank sends Mary away with Roberta and kicks out the tutors. When he's alone with his mother, he reveals that Diane had finished the Millennium Prize problem. Evelyn doesn't believe him. She tells Diane would have shared it with her or with the world if she had done that. Frank tells her that Diane had instructed him to publish the report after the post-mortem. Evelyn asks why hasn't Frank did do so it's been 6 years since her daughter's death. Frank tells her that Diane means Evelyn's death. He tells Evelyn that she can't go ahead and publish it but has to leave Mary alone. And if Evelyn refuses, he will keep his word to Diane and will wait for Evelyn's death. Evelyn, in shock and tears, takes the deal. In the final scene of the movie, we see Mary attending university in the morning. Frank picks her up and drops her in her elementary school for afternoon classes. Bonnie is seen in the park with the kids. She and Frank smile at each other.